All right, here we go with another back test for the month of March. This is on a channel that calls itself MetaTrader 4 Signals. It's a free channel. Reading through the chatter, I'm assuming they have a VIP channel as well. I really doubt that this is actually affiliated with MetaQuotes. And based on the format, the variation of the format, it's really sloppy. So you can see, for example, here's a signal. And the signal looks okay, except there's no target prices included, right? So if you were using a copier, it's probably going to default to whatever your sort of, backstop target prices are going to be. And then the other issue is that they frequently do things like this, where they will post, things like this, gold sell now. Well, to any copier, that looks like an order. It doesn't have a stop loss or a target price, but it's an order. And in the case of our copier, it would take the order. It would just use your default stop loss and target price. So you got two of these in a row, right? So you all of a sudden, if you're using a copier, you got two gold sell orders that you weren't really anticipating taking. And then you got a third one right here, right? So just as far as format goes, and there's just tons and tons of stuff like this, chatter that has like all the right terms for an order. A lot of the send me money nonsense and whatever. So I went ahead and ran the data extraction. I've got the data extracted, like I said. And man, I really had to go to hell and back to clean this up and get it to work right. So as far as if you want to do this manually, if you want to follow this channel manually, that's one thing. But if you're going to use a copier, you're going to have a really hard time with a channel like this. And I don't know if anybody out there has connections to whoever runs this channel, but if they cleaned up their format, it might help quite a bit, which is often the case with many channels. There's no standardized format, and so sometimes you run into channels that are. Anyway, having said that, let's take a look at the report. So here we have these are all of our settings for how we're trading. In this case, for the mineral terms, we had to use both XAU, USD, and gold because they switch back and forth. It seems pretty obvious to me that they're just copying and pasting signals from some other place and then filling it in with chatter that doesn't. It sounds nice, but it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense in the context of things. I don't know, like a pop song with really dumb lyrics or something like that. It's kind of like that. Anyway, interesting results because on a $10,000 account, it did about 7.5%. So you can see the equity curve here. You got some kind of lumpiness, in terms of their returns. You can see entries by hours, Asia, Europe, and U.S. session, which, because there's so many entries like across a wide time frame, it makes it almost impossible to follow this channel unless you're using a copier, right? So here we can see our scatter plot, statistical scattering of wins and versus losses. Here's all our orders, a lot of gold, a lot of yen crosses. And yeah, so there you have it. Not a channel that I would try to follow with a copier, but the results for March are pretty decent.